two men bring an offering to the Lord, one of the fruit of the ground, the other the firstborn of his flock. God accepts one and rejects the other. Why? Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Lord. Abel also brought the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. The word tells us clearly that the offering Abel brought was the firstborn of his flock, but it doesn't say that Cain brought the first fruits of his crops. It simply says, in the process of time, Cain brought an offering. Cain harvested his crops and over time gathered enough to bring an offering. It was an offering on Cain's terms. God accepted Abel's offering because it was the first of his increase. Cain's offering was rejected because it wasn't the first of his. Giving the first to God requires faith. When a firstborn lamb is born in a flock, it's not possible to know how many more lambs that you might produce. But Abel gave his firstborn lamb in faith, whereas Cain made sure he had enough for himself before giving to God. Many of us treat God the same way as Cain, making sure we have enough money before we see if there's anything left for God. Even if we give from what's left over, God can't accept the offering because it's not the first fruit. Other stories emphasize this truth. In the account of the fall of Jericho, the Lord gave strict instructions that the Israelites were not to keep any of the spoils from Jericho. All of it belonged to him, the Lord declared. Jericho belonged to the Lord because it was the first city conquered in the Promised Land. It was the first fruits. God withheld his blessing from Israel when one man took some of the spoils for himself. The first belongs to God. There was much more at stake than money when Abraham offered his firstborn son Isaac. When God asked for his son, Abraham didn't wait to have 10 sons before giving Isaac. He gave the first when he only had one to give. Abraham had only the promise of having more sons. It took faith for Abraham to offer Isaac, faith that God respected and blessed. And God did the same for us. He gave his first in the form of his son, his first and only begotten son, who was given to us while we were still sinners. God gave Jesus in faith that we might one day give our lives to him. The gift of his son came before the blessing of our repentance and salvation. We give our first fruits in much the same way. Before we see the blessing of God, we give it in faith. Giving the first fruits of your income says to God, I recognize you first. I am putting you first in my life, and I trust you to take care of the rest.
Romans 11 and verse 16. For if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. And if the root be holy, so are the branches. And going into the first fruits, if you're a part of the first fruit, if you're a part of that fruit that is first, before your time, and at this end of this time, end of this age, being the first fruit, you're going to give everything that you have for the Lord. You're going to give your whole heart to the Lord. You're going to give all your strength and all your body. You're going to be a whole sacrifice. You're going to give all your time and energy because you're the choice part the Lord has chosen for that, to bear that precious seed from enduring and through all that chastisement. And if you endure chastisement as a son, he receives you, and that patience going bringing forth that precious seed, which that seed is being Yahushai, and you're going to be able to plant Yahushai in others as well. Now, like that video, right? The reason why the Lord didn't receive Cain's sacrifice because he made sure that he had some more for himself, and then he just gave some to the Lord, like the Lord was just a side piece. Oh, here you go. I got some still for me, so here you go. Same thing with the parable, but I was always going to how the poor widow, she put in more than the ones that put in a lot more than she, even though carnally it was a lot more money that they put in, right, in the tithe offering and in the bag. But the fact that she put in all that, all of the little that she had, that meant more, you see, to the Lord, because she had more to lose. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with with Abel. You know, you're not always gonna have a firstborn male, right? And that's what he gave. He gave something that was very hard to have and hard to come by. You know, and no sin is forgiven except for the remission of blood. So blood has to be shed, right? Life, you have to give your life, a life for life, an eye for eye, tooth for tooth, to be able to please the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do that, there's not really a carnal like reward for it. Like there's not like okay, I know I'm gonna get this out of it, or I know if I'm gonna give this, I'm gonna get a carnal, like just like Christmas and shit, like, oh, I'm gonna give someone this and they're gonna give me a present too. Like it's all about giving and not looking to receive again. You see, it's all about having faith. And if you won't get rewarded from that man, then guess what? The Lord's gonna reward you in the long run. You see? James 1:18. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. You see? So the men of the Lord, they're the ones that's going to give it their all. Give the Lord their whole heart. Be holy in this truth, fully, complete, and entire. You see? Not lacking. Their cups could be running over, and they could be able to and them, by us basically like pouring ourselves to the Lord with all that we have. The Lord, he's pouring himself into us entirely. So we're never found wanting, that we're entire, wanting nothing. James 1:4, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. You see? So we don't need anything. We don't need to sell out or do things that those that are partial or don't have the Lord and are not given their first fruits. You know what I'm saying?
These are they which were not defiled with women, but they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God.
Shalom. All praises, glory, honor, and fear Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, belongs to elders, those in the spirit, those instilled in the authority of the Lord. Besides 62 elections, the ones that are still retaining the spirit and are abiding in the work of the Lord and the service of the Lord. And I want to go into a topic, going into basically the first fruits. We brought it out in the night lights last night, but basically to expound on it and shed more light upon it, because as Yahushai was the first spirit ever created by the Lord, well, the Lord, he also created others like him, right by him, basically in the same class, you could say, as him. You know what I'm saying? And this is the first fruits. Those are being gathered together first, and actually with the Lord in the beginning, and in the past, in our past lives, and also in now. The same are called, chosen, and faithful. Those are with him in the end. And if you're a part of the first fruits, right? That word first fruits basically goes into the choice part, right? The special, the first, the origins. And just as Yahushua, he came after John the Baptist, but he was preferred before him, because he was before him. Same thing with men in these times now. You know what I'm saying? And carnal men in camps, they won't really understand that. But the Lord, he's called the first last, you see, and the last first. So the ones that are really last, the last chosen by man, carnal men, are really the first chosen by the Lord. You know what I'm saying? The last shall be first. So those that come last and then are in the end are really the first, you see. That's why the Lord, he set the best wine for last. This is 1 John 4 and verse 17. It says, herein is our love made perfect. And if you love the Lord, you're going to feed his sheep. It's not going to be like a hassle to you. You're going to want to. You know what I'm saying? This is our life. This is our main purpose in life, is feeding the flock, keeping them in the way of Yahushua, keeping them obedient and listening to the shepherd. You see, Yahushua, the word, and laying down our life for the brethren. That's the greatest act of love. See, love isn't really a word, it's actually an action. So it says, herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world. The Lord was rejected, despised of men. Men hid their face from him. He was sent to the Jews didn't receive him not. Same thing with these camps. These camps don't receive us. They don't open their doors and say, welcome, come in. Let us hear what you have to say. Who are you? What's your name? No, they despise, they reject us. They say, who is that? I don't know that guy. He's poor. He has no subscribers, you see. But we have this boldness in the day of judgment, which we're in the time of judgment now. Like you had this guy get shot down in California. There's all kind of judgments going on, man. All kind of judgments going on. As a matter of fact, let me get this precept the brother put up. John 7 and 45. It says, then came the officers to the chief priests and Pharisees, and they said unto them, why have they not brought him? So they thought it was just going to be easy just to take Yahushai, to bind him. And like the Lord said that parable, it's not easy to bind a strong man, you see? And we're strong men. And what makes us strong is that we can bench press 1,000 pounds? No. What makes us strong is this wisdom, you see? Our mind, our mental, you see? The Spirit quickening us and strengthening us. Says the officers answered, never man spake like this man. So same thing with the first fruits. No one's gonna be able to speak like them, talk like them, walk like them, do the works that they do, you see, because they're not the origins. They're not where it all began with, you see. They're not the originals, because like they have that saying, often imitated, never duplicated. You can't make another original, you know what I'm saying? Just like you'll have certain musics or albums or movies, and whenever you try to like make a better, like a sequel or it's never really better than the first one, you know what I'm saying? Because it all came out the first one, like going to the Godfathers and Fast and Furious and certain things like that have a lot of offshoots and copies and duplicates, you see. And they can't really do what the original did, you see. First John, and that's going into the first fruits. And those fruit is the action, bringing forth repentance. Those fruits meet for repentance. The actions, fruit is your action. A tree shall be known by his fruit. So every man's known by his action. So who's really, doing the acts of the apostles and turning the people away from Satan and unto Yahushai, and opening the eyes of the blind and freeing them out of the prison, being the flesh. Is only the few brothers out here in these last days that have gone rogue. They're not really in these big camps. GMS, Sakari, ISUIC, ISUPK, GOCC, and the list goes on and on and on. You see? But the elect, they don't promote a camp, because a lot of these camps been compromised. You got Korah and GMS. You got Dathan and GMS. Famous, praised, highly exalted. See, but like I was saying, if you're a first fruit, you're not going to be exalted in this world. You're not going to get reward. You're not going to get praise and get a pat on your back by a man saying, good job. No, you're not. Now you're gonna get certain signs where you're doing a good job, you know you're being effectual in the spirit, but you're not gonna get that. Like when you go into Jeremiah, you had them say about the tree that had fruit, they said, let's cut it down. You see, so that's what they want to do to us. 1 John 2:5 says, but whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of power perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also so to walk, even as he walked. So it goes beyond just talking, oh yeah, I have 100% truth, or we got the whole truth. It goes beyond just saying it, man. We're not in a time of just saying and speaking. We're in a time of walking it, the straight gate, that path that the Lord laid, that so narrow, so difficult, only one man can go at once. You know? And that's what we're grooming each other to do. Matthew 26 and verse 36. Then cometh Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto his disciples, sit ye here, while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. So just like Yahushua, right when he was coming to the end of his ministry, the end of his walk, he became very sorrowful and very heavy. You know what I'm saying? He only showed that to a few. He didn't show that to everybody because he didn't want to get everybody to seem like he was weak or anything. But he only took unto him 3 of his disciples, and to show them that he was sorrowful, very heavy. And when you go into the word very heavy, it basically means be distressed, be depressed. So that's what also comes to this, with his walk, with much wisdom, much sorrow. You see? Then saith he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. You see? So we're watching with the Lord, and it comes with sleepless nights, you know, and being up all night and meditating and praying, and you know, just heavy stuff, man. And that's why we're bringing out heavier matters of the law, faith, mercy, judgment. And this was a judgment of the Lord, you know, like David said in the Psalms, judge me also, that you shall know my integrity. And with that comes what? The chastening of the Lord. You know, it pleased the Lord to bruise his son. And if we're also sons of the power, we're going to be bruised too. Matter of fact, before I get this in here, let me go to Hebrews 12 and verse 12. Hebrews 12 and verse 1. It says, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, where everyone sees what's going on, you know, the Lord, the angels, everyone's, it's on display. Let us lay aside every weight. You see, the things that weigh you down, the flesh, the cares of this world, the mortal mind, you see. It says, and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. Verse 3, for consider him that endures such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. And that's why, you know, these words and these videos are so important to each of us, because it keeps us up. It keeps our head up. You know what I'm saying? Because we're the ones that's going to, like, motivate and push each other to keep going. You know, don't look back. Keep being strong for the Lord. Don't let the incredulity of them trouble you, right? The incredulity, those that don't believe. Those that have gone after gifts and the rewards of this world. And then they've lost the reward at the end. That incorruptible crown. And that word contradiction, right? The contradiction of sinners. And that's what they was doing to Yahushua. So obviously they're going to do that to us, which a contradiction is an opposition, gainsaying. So a lot of people, right, this whole world is going to say things against us. Oh, what you're doing doesn't matter. You know, no one's watching your videos, all this bullshit. But they don't fucking matter, man. They're going to die. All you unbelievers, all you those that came up against us, you're going to die in your sins. You see, because you don't want to come to light, lest your deeds be reproved. You don't want to be cleansed. You see, that's why we're saying be filthy still, be wicked still, be partial, be accursed of the Lord by perverting the gospel. Go ahead and see the outcome of that. It's going to be a strange, severe judgment, you know, because there's a shame that bringeth grace and honor. There's also a shame that bringeth death. You see, so you have to understand which side that you're on. All right. Jeremiah 2:3, Israel was holiness unto the Lord, and the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, saith the Lord. See, so all those you that devour, you're offending the Lord. You're woe unto you. Woe unto those that the offenses come. And let me get that word devour. And that's what they try to done to us. They try to destroy the fruit with the tree. The tree with the fruit, excuse me. And that word devour is to slay, oppress, use of oppression. Also means to destroy of the flesh, and that's what they do in Micah. They eat up the flesh of our people. I mean, they don't give them what they really need, things on the inside, the spirit, on the mind, the word. And let me get this precept as well. And I just about made the point. Jeremiah 11:19. Verse 18. This is plots against Jeremiah. So there's definitely plots against us. Like I showed y'all that picture. I'm gonna show y'all this picture. But basically, like I told the elder the other day. Let me just pull it up real quick. Right. So this is no coincidence, right? So you have in Tanzania, they refuse the vaccines. You got in Haiti, they reject the vaccines. And then in Burundi, they expel the WHO officials. And they all died in different ways. You know, one died of, rumors that he had a virus. One, obviously the Haiti, he was assassinated. And then Burundi president, he died of cardiac arrest. See, so when you stand up for righteousness and you deny the help, the quote unquote false fucking help of the wicked, whatever wicked it may be, what's the next step for them? They're gonna want to come and take your life. Like when you look at Lazarus, right? Lazarus, he was brought forth from the dead. His body was stinking after 4 days. The Lord revived him. He didn't care about what he smelled like. You see, but what our people did, right? Because see, like the brothers would be saying, and it's true, like he that delivers Yahushua had a greater sin. So we have to come against the greater sin, the things that are greater. And it's heavy, man. All right, guys that call yourselves great. But anyways, that's who we're coming up against, man. Those that have the greater sin, which is our people. So let me get this precept. See, they didn't like praise Lazarus. Oh my gosh, you came back from the dead. No, they didn't do that. John 12:10. But the chief priests consulted that they might put let me start verse 9. And that's why we're still standing. That's why we're still doing what we do, because the Lord is sustaining us. He is keeping us alive to do the finishing touches on this place. John 12:9. Much people of the Jews therefore knew that he was there, and they came not for Yahushua's sake only, but that they might see Lazarus also, whom he had raised from the dead. But the chief priests consult. See, they weren't chief and they weren't choice and they weren't the first fruits of the spirit. They were that and the chief of the flesh, of the carnal temple made by hands. You see the difference? So there was always a war between the two of who was first, of who was the chief and who was, you know what I'm saying, the leaders. John 12:10, but the chief priests consulted that they might put Lazarus also to death. You see? Because that by reason of him, many of the Jews went away and believed on Yahushua. See, they wanted them. See, these wicked false prophets, they want you to believe on them, but they can't do anything except carnally for you. Which is only for a moment. You see? All flesh is as grass, and all grass withereth. You see? So that's what's going on, man. They want you, they want you, they want to draw disciples after them, not after Yahushua, not after life, but after death. You see? And that's what's happened. The flesh is weak, man. You know? As soon as you're born and you start getting older, your flesh starts to decay. You know, you start to get weak. You start to get pains. You know, like they say that, oh, when you touch 40, you know, you're going to, you know, you're not going to be able to, you know, run laps and play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like they say certain things like that, you see? Jeremiah 11:18, and the Lord hath given me knowledge of it, and I know it. Then thou showest me their doings. You see? So we know what we're saying. We're confirmed of what we're saying. It says, but I was like a lamb or an ox that was brought to the slaughter, and I knew not that they had devised devices against me, saying, let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living. Whew, that his name may be no more remembered. You see? So they don't want the names of the righteous to be remembered. Yahushua, Lazarus. You see? Jeez. But they want to be remembered, but they're not going to be remembered, man. They'll be forgotten forever. And they got to be brought up again in the kingdom, 2/3. James 2:22 says, seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect. So with your faith and your works, it's going to make you perfect. And that's what the Lord said to do. Be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. And I'm going to leave y'all with this precept. 1 Peter 4:11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. And if any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Yahushua Mashiach. So it's all through the word, not through man's words or carnal men or vocab and shit. It says, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. And when you go into the word oracle, it's heavy. And that's what we speak, and that's what we comfort one another with, and we build each other with the word.
Strong's G 3051. Logion.
Right, and oracles is a brief utterance, you see. A divine oracle, doubtless because oracles are generally brief, you see. And that word brief is a concise, short duration. So we don't gotta do long things. You know, sometimes the Spirit has it go like that, but the Lord, he's speeding this thing up. You know, and the Lord said, be as one that knoweth but speaketh little, you see. And that word oracles, let me just get this real quick. When you look it up in the Google as well, it says a prophet, authority, you see. It says a priest acting as a medium through whom advice or prophecy was sought from the powers, right? It says a place at which divine advice or prophecy was sought. A person or thing regarded as infallible, authority or guide on something, you see. Now it also says a response or message given by an oracle, typically one that is ambiguous or obscure. And it says to speak. Now I got the definition for ambiguous and obscure, and that's why what we're doing is 2 Ezra 15:1. Speak thou in the words of my people, words of prophecy, oracles. You know, not your own words or what you think. You see, we have the mind, but we have the mind of Yahushua in the spirit of prophecy. Now the word obscure, right? It says not discovered or known about, you see. Keep from being seen, conceal. So that's what the Lord is doing. His works are hidden. You see, it says, right, cover. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's covering the true hidden ones from this world and from the wicked. And I got that word for ambiguous. Ambiguous, which is basically meaning puzzling and riddling, like a riddle, cryptic. You see, let me see, right, perplexing, which is completely baffling, like you're gonna be surprised by it, or you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be puzzled by it, like, you know, it's gonna take you a lot of effort and all your attention to basically like understand it entirely. You know, but as these things are plain to the godly, they're stumbling blocks to the wicked. So, you know, you like, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Like, you'll have some like very special, very gifted people, right? Which the elect are. But like, you could give them like a very huge puzzle, right? For an example, you know, and someone that's like carnal and like doesn't have patience or time, they'll be like, oh, I'm never gonna do that, or they'll give up after just putting two pieces together, if that. But you'll have some people that they could put that puzzle together in like a matter of a couple of minutes or something like that, you see? That's the first fruits. So with that, all praises, glory, honor, faith, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And destruction and demise to all the anti-Yahushais, and salvation, strength, and motivation to the Lord's elect, the chosen, the servants of the Lord. Hey, Shalom. And this is definitely going to have to have more attention to this topic, because this is really heavy. And, you know, being a first fruit, you're going to do things first. You're going to do things that others won't be able to, or not strong enough to do, you know, helping pave the way for Yahushai. And that's what, you know, you had John the Baptist do. He paved the way for Yahushai. He said, make all the paths straight. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing of the first fruits, man. You see, you putting the Lord first. What did the Lord say? Seek the kingdom first, and then all things shall be added unto you. And that takes faith. You know, because this world tells you to, you know, seek a degree first, you know, get your money up, you know, get a house, do this, do that. Everything that's carnal, you see, just like Cain, you know, he first made sure he had enough fruit, and then he gave some to the Lord. That wasn't his first priority, you see. Same thing in these last days. A lot of guys, they don't put Yahushai as their first priority. And that's why there's like a war of the two. You have a few that are the first fruits, putting the Lord first, and then you have the many that put the Lord last. But then in the flesh, they're already first, because they're doing things of the flesh and sacrificing to devils and deceivers, and that's who increase in riches. The wicked increase in riches here. You see. So definitely a heavy topic, definitely gonna have to be given more attention to, but you better stay strong. And all praises, glory, honor, faith, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We're in great times, man. Very, very exciting, very spectacular times, man. And don't let no man take that crown, and your joy in the Lord. All right, shalom.